Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Electrical Theology, Esoteric Life Coaching. I am your host, Chuck. If this is your first time visiting us, I appreciate you showing up and hopefully you're interested in this information. We help people understand how to unfold the moment with an undefended heart and take responsibility for their thoughts, actions, and emotions. Doing this will help you better manifest, understand the universal concepts, and be able to manifest the life that you're wanting to lead, that you're wanting to live. All right, we've been talking about self-awareness, self-image, self-esteem, self-concept, and today we'll be talking about self-concept a little bit. And basically, self-concept, there's a few constructs that are surrounding the self-concept. So we have, who we are, our conceptualization of who we are. In the social realms, our value realm, we talked about the core values the last couple of videos. Our beliefs, we talked about beliefs, and beliefs basically are created by your tribes. They're in the past, they're not in the unfolding moment. Your certain abilities, your talents, your communication skills, your natural abilities and your learned abilities, and your goals in life. And your goals in life, that can be a conversation in itself, but we sort of get the gist of what that is. It's just you want to see yourself, in a certain timeline and accomplish certain things. And the goals to get there or the steps to get there are basically the same as manifesting. And so for me, you have a desired state and then a present state. And we talked about present state to desired state. And in order to get from present state to desired state, which desired state is manifesting what it is we wanted out of life, what we've chosen to have or commanded out of life. And then in between your present state and your desired state, there's steps in between, and we've talked about some of those steps about becoming the student, becoming disciplined, having understanding that leads to awareness. Awareness leads to insight, and the insight leads to actualization, and that actualization then is wisdom, and then that wisdom then connects your will and action. So in order to take the action steps needed to go from present state to desired state, you have to have the awareness and understanding and all that. But in order to have the right action, we needed the wisdom, but we couldn't get the wisdom until we got the knowledge, discipline, and so forth. And then once we activated the wisdom, then the will was able to come through wisdom, and then we can do wise action. So what is self-concept, guys? Well, it's always in flux. It just depends on the influences, both inner and external, or the esoteric and the exoteric influences, the impressions, those energies, the ions that we are drawing both into us through biomechanical electromagnetism that attracts people, places, and things, or like thoughts. And then also it's our internal flux that we're always changing and perceiving life, we're always learning new stuff, so it changes what we knew as our belief system. So that's why I sort of say there's no belief system other than the belief system that we're always changing. Right? It focuses on who we wish we can be. So we compare ourselves in some sense to everyone else and say, hey, I want to be them. But in the self-concept, whoever you choose to be, it has to be on your terms, no one else's terms. Right? Focus on the best possible self and the achievement. So again, we go from present state to desired state. So however you perceive or conceive yourself to be, right, you have to conceptualize that. You have to visualize that. Right? And we have to go step by step by step. And we've talked about this in prior videos, and later videos we may get into specifics on manifestation, but we did get in that on the secret grid. The secret grid, it gave us the first introduction of how to manifest something from the beginning thought to the end thought, or the inception to the completion of that thought. If you want to go ahead and go back to those videos, watch those videos, and it's just the secret grid. By not having a self-concept or creation of who you want to be, then we have a tendency to not try anything in life. So this is the lack of a life strategy. So part of having a life strategy is to have the steps to manifest from point A to point B, or present state to desired state. If you don't know how to create your concept of who you are, then that's where we need to begin. And who you are is where we begin, and that's on the secret grid again. We got to go back to who are you, right? What inspires you? Right? What are you ready to mature at? What are you ready to learn? And where are you ready to take wise action? Right? Where are you ready to look at your old belief systems and trade them in for new beliefs? Right? Which ones do you want to trade in for the ones that you love for the ones you don't love? Right? Decisions, that is, and so on and so forth. But again, that's all in the grid. All right, so we can this self-concept can lead to low self-esteem or self-worth if we don't have a life strategy. So if you're always trying to manifest something but it doesn't turn out, it's because you don't have a strategy. You don't have a step-by-step. And the easiest way for right now in this conversation is just every morning you wake up and go, okay, I want to see myself, right? That's the discipline. The discipline leads to knowledge. And knowledge leads to understanding and awareness, which eventually all this leads to manifesting the life you want, or you're ready to have, or that desired state. And so when you can sit down each morning and go, okay, I choose to start a new job or create my own business, then you can say, okay, what's the first step? Well, I got to get out of bed. Right? How do I feel about getting out of bed? Right? So we need to internalize this. We need to tap into the esoteric energy, the thing that makes up this bio suit. Right? And everything has a continuous unfolding moment within it. And a lot of that's unseen. We don't see how something formed, right? We just see the form. And then we try to regulate life according to the form. But getting in touch with the esoteric, and this goes back to the very first videos about understanding that this hierarchy, Shambhala, God, and the seven frequencies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to those first videos. I know this can be a little confusing for the new people, but the people who've been around, I appreciate you hanging out there too. And make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then by having the ability to understand each step and then embody that feeling, the thoughts, right? If you come across in your visualization of going from point A to point B, present state to desired state, and if there's a step within there that is not, again, this goes according to the grid of the 1 through 21. If there's a step within there that you're not sure, then we need to manifest that. We need to sit down with that one and go step by step. And go, okay, what are the steps needed to get through this? Right? So if there's a frustration or fear or something about creating your own business, then we need to stop there and go, okay, let's walk through this. Let's go step by step, okay? What's the fear? Well, I don't know if I can do this, okay? What do you need to support you in making you understand that you can do this? Right? And it's basically visualizing and going through that, okay, I see myself studying. I see myself reading books on entrepreneurs who created their own business. I'm reaching out to mentors. I'm watching YouTube videos like this one. And going through the steps, and then through that, it helps you get through that fear. And then it takes you to the next step that then goes, okay, here's my next goal or my next step or my next grid walk, if you will, the secret grid. And you'll know exactly what's coming up. You know exactly what to do. Now, we won't always have the answers. We won't always unfold the moment as we perceive it, but as long as we keep laying out that structure, that life strategy, then we know we're never going to buckle down. We're just going to keep going through each step and then breaking down each step, setting micro goals, if you will, or micro steps, until we succeed from going from not having a business to having our own business, right? So write down as much as you can about what you perceive your self-concept to be. And if it's a low self-esteem, then that means you need a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, then that's your goal. You set out every day in the morning and say, okay, what are the steps needed? Right? Well, what is the first thing you need to get your own business started? Do you know how to do you know whatever it is for you? Right? If it's an accounting business, if it's a cupcake business, whatever this may be, do you understand the whole intricacies of business? Do you need to take a class in business? I like to go and take a few classes from udemy.com. I have no affiliate with them whatsoever. I'm planning on putting classes up later, but right now I think they're a great place. You can learn and get certified and degrees in many things just for a fraction of the cost of what it does in college. So you're talking $14, $15, or even $100 for a course that gets you certified in computer, psychology, coaching, whatever this is for you. And and it doesn't take 4 years. It could take a weekend, right? But you saturate yourself with that information. So again, this is a step to go toward, if you don't know something, right, gain the knowledge. Right? So be that perpetual student. Right? If you don't know something, you always go research. So do your research. How much research do you need? What is it you need to know? What is it you don't know? All right? Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. All right? So self-concept basically is a self-created conscious evolution, and a self-concept comes from a person consciously creates strategies that have them seeing themselves in the highest light, thus making it easier to work on the self-esteem. So basically this is what we just talked about, so I'm not going to really go over it again, but this leads to this point of a better self-esteem, which then is a byproduct of the self-worth. Right? So if you don't know what your worth is valuable. So if you don't know what value is, you don't know what your core values are, go back to the core value video about 4 videos ago and watch about the core values. Core values is putting those in place to help you with your steps from desired state or present state to desired state, and from your number 1 step to your 21 step in the secret grid. This leads eventually to your present state to desired state. This is the strategy in between, right? Having a great self-esteem means that you'll get yourself through the tough times, the fearful times, the lazy times, right? Because you've already created. So the more you create these things, the more in the esoteric part of your life, the biomechanics, chemicals, and electricals align with that thought. Because the more you think on this, the more you put those steps into motion, the more your body aligns with that, the more your mind aligns with it. Everything, the universe aligns and co-conspires. That spiraling effect starts coming in, and it starts attracting what it is you want. All right? And this is basic manifestation, which we talked about a while back. Some of y'all don't know what you want in life, so that's sort of where you want to go, is what do you want in life. It doesn't have to be specific just yet, but get yourself in the ballpark, right? We start with, before we can understand a present state to desired state, the present state, we need to look at that from a broad to specific perspective, right? You need to conceive or have that self-concept that says, okay, I'm not sure what I want to be, but here's some of my natural abilities. I like helping other people, right? Okay, great. That's a broad statement. So where do you want to help other people? What is the arena that you can help other people? What are you naturally good at? And is there a group of people you like to help? Or is it animals? Do you want to work for pets or a shelter for animals? Do you want to work with young youth, troubled youth? Do you want to start your own car wash business or your lawn business, right? Do you want to help the elderly and cut their grass at a discount, right? Whatever this may be, figure out a broad perspective of how you want to help people, right? Write these self-concepts down, right? So what kind of life do you want? So what do you want? For that broad, and then we can go down into the specific through step by step by step and visualizing all this. This is using the actual eyes. To actualize something, we need a true inner vision, right? Not a vision board, but an inner vision, right? So where do you see your life going? Again, if you do want to start this animal shelter or cupcake business or accounting, whatever this may be, right? Where do you see your life going with this, right? Why do you want to do this? And can you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? We've talked about 400 years. Wherever you are now, whatever you are doing now, do you want to do it for another 400 years? Or can you see yourself for what you're trying to create, the self-concept, this life you want? And can you see yourself doing it for 400 years? And that opens up the thing that says, well, you know what? I like that, but I don't want to do it for 400 years. I just maybe want to do it for a couple of years. Great, then that's your goal. Set the steps, and what do you need to do that for a couple of years? Right? And if that's just a stepping stone to get you to the next one, awesome. Okay? And are you willing to change or remain the same? Right? If you're willing to change, then you'll take the practice, you'll have the discipline, you'll gain the knowledge, you'll be the student, you'll do the research, and you'll gain the wisdom in order to take the right action. Right? Are your personal and professional goals different or the same? Now this is a broader topic, but generically, my profession and me are the same. It doesn't separate. It's like a YouTuber, right? They make a name for themselves, and that turns into a business. Well, the business is them. It's the same. What I'm teaching you now is what I teach on the outside. It's what I talk about to people all the time. So finally, where do you see yourself doing in 5, 10, or 15 years? This is sort of the 400-year thing we talked about, but where do you see yourself in 5, 10, or 15 years? So if you want to set a 5-year goal, set a 5-year goal. And what are the steps to get to that 5-year? If 5 years is too big of a broad picture, then mark it down to a year, 6 months, a month, right? If it's too big, then slice it up some more. If that steak's too big, cut it into pieces. And what do you hope to accomplish in 5, 10, or 15 years? I know those sound similar, but where do you see yourself? And that's sort of the overall concept of who you are, right? The social, family, all this type stuff. But this is sort of what did you want to accomplish within those 5 years? So at the end of 5 years, did you complete or accomplish the goals you set out for, right? So what do you hope to accomplish? Right? Do you know how to attain your professional and personal goals within those 5, 10, 15 years? Right? And again, we've talked about this step by step by step. So what negative perceptions and behaviors are you willing to be done with in order to change? And this is where we talked about earlier, where if you encounter fear or stress or something, that we're going to set a plan. What is it that's making you afraid? Well, because you lack something. You lack knowledge. Well, go gain the knowledge. What are the steps to gaining knowledge? Well, I'm going to walk my butt to the library and pick up a book and read about entrepreneurship or how to be an accountant, or take classes, or go ask an accountant, or ask friends and family who are in those professions. Right? So are you willing to take those steps? In your ideal state, what do you like? Is your personal and professional different? And again, we talked about this. I'm sort of the same. I'm going to be me in the business, even though the business may be whatever it is, selling tchotchke A, B, C, or D. I'm still going to be me. If I make a video on mediumship or tarot or self-help or electrical theology or soul mechanics, it's still me teaching the class, right? I'm in different settings, but it's all around the same arena. Right? So I'm basically in an arena that many sports can play within that arena. Right? One time I'm playing baseball, another time I'm playing basketball, another time I'm playing soccer, or whatever. But I'm the arena, but I can do whatever I want in that arena. I can change sports or different concepts of myself, right, if it's all within that same arena. Right? So for me, mediumship, tarot, all the supernaturals, all the arcane knowledge, and teachings are all basically the same. It's just how I present them. They're all presented a little different, but the information's all the same. It makes sense, guys? So we want to just figure out our self-concept and, socially, who are we? What are our values? What are our beliefs, our abilities, and goals, right? And each one of these are leading to the manifestation of who you're choosing to be. So whoever you are now and who you want to be, and start laying out those steps today. Start looking at what step is the first 10 steps you can take, right? And be with those. Close the eyes. Get in touch with yourself and feel, embody each one of those feelings of you creating your own business, right? And if there's hesitation or fear, right, then that's going to be that we don't have consistency or congruency we've talked about in different videos, right? That's core values. So part of your core values, your new core values is like, okay, I'm going to be consistent. What does that mean? I mean, they're going to wake up every day and state that here's what I'm going to do. Here are my steps. I'm going to visualize my day out of accomplishing this goal or this present state to desired state. Right? That should about do it, guys. Next, we'll talk about self-knowledge. And that will take us on. And that should wrap up the whole self part of self-awareness of who we are. And then from there, we can go on. And we may tap into going back to the grid and manifesting or taking you step by step from present state to desired states of creating a goal or a life mission. Because we're all here to bring our light and to shine our light and give that to the world or share that with the world, undefended. All right, guys? Until next time, we'll see you. Thanks.